breakdowns.
Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. This is episode number 40-something. Bert, help me out. 48. We're back. It's the first episode of 2023. And the first one had to be special, so I had to have the crew, the guys, the reason this whole thing is possible anyways. But today we have NoiseROT. Introduce yourselves. I'm just kidding. You don't have to introduce yourself. It says mustache over here. We got cross burn notice over here.
Burn notice.
And then we have DJ. Do you guys know what DJ stands for? What do you think it stands for?
Dang, I don't know. What do you
think? I'm gonna go with dangerous.
Dangerous.
I still think that's good. I saw that one. Oh, that's good.
Dangerous.
Dangerous. Fucking idiot.
We took a dangerous was a good one.
Gary still cracked me up too when he said a damn gentleman.
A damn gentleman. Which none of them are with G, like G's. They're all G like letters. Fucking great. But everyone's here. I took a little break since Chill Sounds and Breakdowns, which
was that the last one?
Merch, yeah. What? Last
last
podcast?
For real?
Yeah, last episode was Bad Lives.
Damn.
Which is still not out. It will be out though. By the time of this, it'll be out. It'll be out. Okay, so I apologize. I'm sorry, Taylor. You were great. That's on me. All right. But I guess we can talk about that first. That was like our last kind of big event thing.
Chill Sounds
and Breakdowns.
Stressful.
Very, very stressful.
Hot. That's another
Oddly,
one too.
Not as hot as it could have been, but like moving those like tables and chairs outside.
I mean, we're just getting
sunny.
worn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just getting tired.
And that was like early on, and I'm like, oh. And then I kept forgetting to eat. And, like I was
gonna have a stroke, bitch.
Yep.
Man, I think even like just the back area that we had the rot lot in, not like underestimating how hot that asphalt was gonna get as well, and it just radiates that heat off of you, and you're running back and forth, man.
See, we need a scientist on retainer to be like, okay, what are we not seeing here? He's like, well, temperature is gonna rise up given the trajectory of
something.
Fuck around.
That's just a fucking chart graph. Okay, but no, I mean, honestly, that day was other than like stressful. It was like pretty awesome to see that mix of like bands and stuff, like which is kind of like why most of this started. You know, so seeing it come to fruition with 3 stages was a lot. But you got to see a lot. I guess, what was, like, your, like, favorite parts from, like, that day?
Favorite parts? Actually, like, seeing, like, the courtyard, it seemed to generate a lot of traffic with all the vendors and everything, so it was kind of cool, like, the little hub that was developing there.
Yeah.
I don't know, I liked a lot of different things about a lot of different things. I have more, like, how do I say this? What we could do better?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot more of that, like, okay, like, we need to tighten this here, tighten this here. Favorite? Someone help me out.
Yeah,
I feel like it's hard when a group is just always trying to figure out how to improve. It's hard to like be like, this is the best part of everything, because you know what you want to fix to make it better, and it's not taking away from it, because like the burlesque show and everything we did was awesome. Like seeing the energy and all the performers in between, even just like your traditional music sets were awesome. Yeah. Seeing everybody interact with all the dancers and everybody that showed up, it was definitely a vibe, and it created... I mean, we got the video of you twerking on stage, you know?
Oh, yeah! I forgot about that.
It hasn't been released yet. I need to prepare myself. I need to prepare myself for everyone's going to be throwing themselves.
No, see, that whole video was wild.
Honestly, yeah.
Should I buffer it by doing a wall twerk?
Damn!
Can you do it right here?
I might be able to.
Hey, man, let's see what we get to. Let's save it.
Right.
About it.
We'll do it at the end.
Just because. I get that completely, where it's like, you want to enjoy like some things, but like after the fact, you're thinking like everything that you could have done better.
Yeah.
I just like kept giving myself little like tiny breaks, because I just kept running like across all 3 stages, like back and forth. Mm-hmm. But every so often I would like stop and be like, jam out to like one song, and I'm like, this is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then like would walk inside and be like, and again like give myself another little like minute. But the extra events were tight. Like I remember the Blaze Culture thing. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think any of us really knew what we were expecting out of it.
Yeah.
We had like the gist of something. It was like, oh, we're gonna have like a crash pad and this and that. I'm like, I don't know what I'm expecting.
Walking into, yeah.
And then just like walking back there and like seeing a band turning around, just seeing a giant like freaking like flip happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening, dude? Like that was nuts. I thought that was awesome.
I feel like it gave the vibes from like, I don't know, for me, just seeing music videos growing up on like MTV and VHS, you know, and seeing the festivals would be like, that looks so cool. You know, I've always wanted to do that. And then growing into NoiseROT and seeing like Chill Sounds actually bring those vibes back.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun 'cause it's just stuff that you haven't really seen happen in a while. And then once you watch it be an event that you put on yourself as well, it's like, holy shit, like we're doing this, you know, like we're doing it. It's cool. It's definitely nostalgic seeing it come back, you know?
I feel like that was one of the big things when we did Chill Sounds the year before, which was like mostly just like DJ like organizing everything by himself. But like that was what most people walked away from that thinking was like, oh, like that word like vibes, like, oh, the vibes were like great, like, you know, like it was, and people kept saying like homie fest and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which is, like,
homie fest.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think my only thing with that is like being able to spread that to like a bigger audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so that was like all like I want to do, and I felt like I saw people like I'm like I've never seen these people before kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it did bring out that type of. I was trying to bring the same like vibe to like everybody else, like, and I think that's like ultimately like our goal is to keep increasing.
And that's what's you mentioned it earlier. You asked me earlier. I figured out what it is. One of my favorite parts was literally watching like Post Profit at one point, hard rock going on in the lot. I walked inside and Xavier the Second's playing, and it's like just a fucking vibe. And then out the front you have like a Renda light throwing down. I was like, it's so weird. And without taking like a huge, like having to travel too far or anything like that, you were in these different pockets and there wasn't so much bleed.
Yeah.
So you just kind of enter these different realms whenever you wanted. It was cool. It was cool to just see how fluid it got and how everyone had a big enough crowd to still kind of enjoy, and it's diverse as fuck. Yeah. That shit was badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the diversity of it is like one of the main goals like of the actual like festival.
Yeah, how do we get everyone in the same room? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Respect.
What I mean by that is like not everyone's gonna want to check out hip hop or metal or whatever, but like someone's gonna be like, oh well, I see why they're on this show, or I see why this is what's going on. You know what I mean? Like it's just too all inclusive.
That's true. We managed to. I guess it's even if it's a mixed bill, you kind of still have to
Like appreciate.
what is it? What's the word? Curate. Like curate it to a degree where like you can see why like I can see why like some of this fan would be a fan of this. Kind of. Yeah. And I feel like it did that enough to like maybe not bleed the entire crowd over into like the set, but get enough people and be like to give it a chance. And you know, try to listen to something now. So I think that was pretty cool. The stuff that we could do better, like small things that we've like haven't experienced before. We're kind of honestly cool too to see, to be like, oh, okay, like we figured them out in the moment, but like you have to figure them out. But it's cool that next year those problems won't be the same problems. Like
I hope not.
You know?
I
mean, hopefully.
Yeah. We got it.
Yeah, I mean, we've learned a lot this year.
it.
I mean, we're literally approaching our 1 year anniversary of doing this, which is crazy. Like, honestly, it doesn't even seem like it has been that long. Like, but we've done a shit ton of shows. You did the count the other time. Roughly how many did we do?
We had like 45 shows, 46 shows. We would have had 50, but we had like 4 or 5 cancellations throughout the year. Which is not bad.
It's not.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of shows.
Divide that up by like 12. That's like at least 4 months or something like that.
It makes me think, because there's like people who have done this shit for years by themselves.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I don't know how you have the time. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? That's a lot that goes into it. You know what I mean? So I respect it. I think it's badass.
Yeah. I also think we take a few extra steps. Sometimes, like, so maybe like that's what adds a little bit more of like time. Because I do hear that like from like the way you send out like the follow up emails and stuff like that. That's something that I mean even from playing like that's not something we were ever used to really like getting updates.
Exactly,
like that.
exactly. So like playing shows, I would get annoyed walking into the venue and being like, who do I talk to? What's going on? Like even something as simple as like where do I put my gear? Like I don't know this shit, and so taking the time to get these answers before they even get there, like. I try to hit everybody up a week prior, everything from like the venue owner to the sound guy to the band to the promoters or the agencies or whatever, just to make sure everyone's on the same page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even then, like, I've gotten better at how to go about that and being more clear, because sometimes I forget people can't read my fucking mind. And I gotta be
why the fuck are you in here?
Like, I gotta be a little bit more thorough, or not but like just a little bit more thorough.
Yeah.
And I think it's helped out, and it's made the bands feel more comfortable. And like I just take it with that, like what would it be if I was in that position, what would I want? And I was like, well, I would want set times. Am I gonna get some food? You know what I mean? Am I gonna get, where do I park? And I'll include pictures, like whatever I can do to make sure it's as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Like the big one from Chill Sounds was learning how to break down everything. Like, here's all this shit we have going on.
Yeah.
Here's where you fit in this pocket. Here's what I need from you, and blah blah blah. And even then, I think I need to figure out a better way to communicate these things.
It's tough because even during the day, like figuring out who to talk to for this sort of stuff, and even though we sent like people like, hey, there's still like, if I can't find that person, like who do I get a hold of, you know?
Yeah.
And then like if someone would come up to me for something, I'm like, I'm not sure like about that thing, so I wouldn't make them. I try not to make anybody go find somebody. I try to go find like that person myself, and I'm like, let me relay it back and figure it out. But yeah, the communication is like crucial, especially like for like stuff like a festival. Like that was,
it's a lot of moving components.
It's a lot, where I realized like, oh, like we do need to have more dedicated people, because that day like I was supposed to be like filming like with Bert,
all
like,
the market,
all day. And then like
content.
I did the first one, I'm like, oh, I won't have time like to do the interchanges and stuff.
I started, I was like, hey, I need you to go do this. I need you to go help me with this.
And I was like, oh shit, okay, with some more hands like on deck, you know, kind of thing.
Which just means we need people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you would like a internship, unpaid, we can offer you a hypothetical college credit,
and you'll get exposure.
You'll play for it. You know, once you get exposed. Wait, hold on.
We will expose
you. We're just gonna find people that we have dirt on and blackmail them into helping us.
Yeah.
Hey, I need you to run the door.
Or else. You have to sell 10 pre-sales for every show somehow. You're still an intern. You work for us.
Wait, you want to run the door for us? 10 pre-sales. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
God.
You want to be a stagehand? 20 pre-sales. Terrible.
But honestly,
the
like
headliner and forget their name while they're like coming up.
I want to bring up that story.
Wait,
so that was our first show ever. First of all, like I am like happy and proud as fuck of like what our first show was, which is like fucking Kurt Travis. The very first show NoiseROT did was Kurt Travis, Cat Bamboo, Sonny Bronco, Animal Jam.
A Marionette? No.
And a Marionette, which is right behind there. They gave us that signed vinyl.
Actually, that bitch is signed?
That bitch is signed, yeah.
Oh.
They gave it
What
to us
the fuck do I know?
because we talked to, like I was talking to Nick Ryan, I think is his name, which is the guitar player for Marionette. And I was like, oh, you know, this is the first show, blah, blah, blah. He like immediately like didn't like bat an eye. He just like grabs one. He's like, he got everybody to sign it. And he's like, here you go, man. Like, keep going. I'm like, oh. And then I got to talk to him like later on in the year. And he still like remembered us and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. But yeah, dude. So we're at the door. And the headliner, Kurt Travis, walks up, and what do you ask him for? His ticket?
Like, hey, you here for the show?
And I'm like standing next to him. I was like, no. And I was like, I'm like, yeah, he's playing. I'm like, yo, he's playing shit. That's his shit.
Who are you, Travis Kurt?
No. I don't know you.
I thought it was so huge. And then he just like, okay.
It's still not as bad as you like sing mocking someone while the vocalist of the song you're sing mocking walks behind you
I
too.
did do that. I won't say who. But I was singing a song and making fun of it.
Oh, yeah?
and making fun of it. I was just like, I can't believe this dude got away with saying this. And I was like singing the song, and then like they're right behind me, and I'm like, oh my fucking god! I was like, what the hell? Why did I do that?
Terrible.
The funny thing is that I love that song and I love this band, and it's just but it's
just
funny.
so catchy.
Yeah.
It's so catchy and so ridiculous. It makes me want to hum it right now.
Yeah,
just 'cause
it's catchy as hell. But like I said, to this day, I love this band. Yeah, and it's honestly that song is one of my favorite songs, like from them. But yeah, they caught me. I was like, oh my god. I was like, I don't know what to do right now. But it ended up being okay.
Shrug it off.
We're cool now.
Look them dead in the eyes and you keep singing.
I think. I'll say it on this spot. No,
I keep looking at this camera. I'm like, I can't see that camera. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Don't look at it.
I won't.
Don't even look it down.
I won't.
Look at it.
Hey.
Makes you less nervous. There you go.
Yeah.
The mustache twins.
Right. So yeah, like speaking of shows this year, what are some like standouts like for you, or anyone that like you were super excited to like kind of be weird that we were like hosting them or something?
I'm excited about the Scalp show.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the Cat Bamboo show. Would have been cool. We were supposed to get somebody else on that one, but it looks like it's not gonna work out. That would have been tight. The one we
can't
had,
say it?
I can't say it. No,
okay.
Not at Liberties.
It would be
It
pretty
would be
awesome.
tight. And then the one we have in February, which I don't know when we're announcing that one, but we should all know what that one is. It's a collab. Full of friends.
Oh yeah.
That one.
I'm excited for February.
It's a lot of the ones I can't say. Right.
I know the one for
Yeah.
February too.
Yeah.
We've just been working for months trying to
Yeah.
put it all together.
Yeah.
I'm like ready to announce it. It's
That's
gonna be
gonna
so
be cool.
sick.
I thought we weren't doing collabs anymore.
We got a few collabs.
A few collabs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got like 2 in the pocket.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
They're really cool.
collabs are cool. They're hard.
They can be difficult.
They were the difficulty was like we got used to like ourselves as like a team, and like again like that whole like we're not in each other's brains, but we like kind of get like how we function, and then like figuring out how like other people like function too is like, oh okay, we have to like take that into account, like listen to that, and it's just I think the communication was like the kind of hardest part to figure out on what like who knew what and who like knew was expected to do what. But they're fun because there's a lot of like cool people doing cool shit around here, which is
And that's the
awesome.
motto. Do cool shit with cool people. That's all I want to do, man.
That's literally when we were like thinking about doing this. That's what we just kept saying, like
Do cool shit with cool people.
cool
Fuck
shit
it.
with cool people. Yeah, like I just think it's nuts. And I keep bringing this up, and it's weird. Where we've gone out to a few shows and like got recognized for being in like NoiseROT. Like that's really strange.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like and in a band maybe because I was like, oh, we used to play shows, but like organizing them, I'm like, who's coming up? Like no promoters and stuff. But I had like, I think like now it's been like 3 instances where like people come up. Like one was like the other night at emo night, like someone came. I was like, it's like, oh, you guys run the like the NoiseROT shows. Me and DJ were standing together and we're like, oh yeah. And he's like, dude, you guys are doing some dope shit. And I'm like, that's enough. I was like, that's enough. We gotta,
to all of them.
but it's
But
it's
also, I
weird.
mean, sorry, you go.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but also you have more than just doing the shows. I mean, like even doing the podcast. What we're trying to do with like Rotted Roots, like there's a little bit more tied under the umbrella of NoiseROT as opposed to just doing shows.
Which when I brought like what I guess like I wanted to do like for NoiseROT, that was one of like my biggest like drivers. So, like I want to be able to create stuff like that and basically like have NoiseROT be like his hub to like help out like music and just give back to like music. And then the podcast was like, you know, something that started as a temporary thing for the first like festival, and then like it just became fun, and then like it's grown now with like literally have, you know, like Bert, you know, shout out to Bert because Bert's helping us with like filming and editing and stuff like that, which has been like a great help. But the fact that like someone actually like wanted to like help and participate is like cool enough alone, and I'm like, okay, you know, that's awesome.
On that note, like I get hit up quite frequently of people who want to like work with us, and sometimes I'm like, I don't really have like a job per se for you right now, and I'll tell them like, you know, when like the festival comes around or we do bigger events that require more people on the ground floor, like that's when I want to approach them and be like, hey, can you help us again, like run the door, or maybe help us just do wristbanding. It's small stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a few cats that are like, oh, I want to learn like the music business. Like, I don't even know what the music. I'm just fumbling here. I'm trying to figure this out too, man. Like,
Dude, I honestly like didn't know how like booking and stuff like work, which I still kind of don't. But like I didn't know like how like it got like across, and then I forgot who we were just like, I think it was at like Gert Travis show where we were just like, fuck it, just like shoot a shot, and it's like, no.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? It was just like a thing, and then once like just randomly shooting shots started working, and then now I'm just like find like bands that are announcing tours. I'm here, call them up, and they're like,
because honestly, that was just, hey, I noticed there's a gap in your time frame. Like, I can hook it up with a venue, and they were like, sure. And I was like, oh shit, that worked. And I was like, is that all? Is that all it takes? Just knock on a few doors, see who answers.
But kind of see, because like some of these like people like don't have like necessarily like agents all the time. They're all like
Not
booking
all,
their
yeah.
own like shows and stuff like that. So whatever connection is a thing that you don't know. But I think one of the most recent ones that I like hit you up about was we didn't get it. No, the home team. The home team.
No,
they had a
yeah.
gap
I saw
in the flyer.
In the flyer, but they had
it already,
else planned.
booked or whatever. But I remember like you hit them up and they like responded back. So I'm like, oh, they're doing their shit directly. I was like, okay, that's
cool,
kind of tight. You know what I mean? It's like so little things like that. I forgot there's someone else that I like hit up recently, and I was just like, oh, let me see what like I was like, I'm gonna see if I can do it. I just did it over Instagram too, and they messaged me back. They're like, oh, okay, yeah. It was like, oh, we might come through town like through this and that, and I was just doing it as like a fan. And then they were like, well, we kind of do. And I'm like, oh, I have a business for that. Like, it's like, oh, if you guys need like help booking a date like around here, like let us know. And they're like, oh, okay. So they took down like our contact info. I'm like, networking. This is what it is.
Bro, and that's all it is like getting to know people. And then if you're like, how do I put this? Like Daniel Castleberry from Perennial, I met Kai from Cat Bamboo through Daniel, and then they've helped me get to like how we got the Donovan Malero show. Yeah. Like it's just learning like who to talk to. It's fucking cool. Did I say it wrong?
No, I said Toxedo.
Oh, bro, that album? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Bro, you know what? If we ever see him again, I'll tell him. But that album was toxic as fuck, my boy.
Yeah, dude, it was
damn, I listened to that shit and I'm like, holy shit, bro. Like, this is. But I like it. I really like it.
It's a good album. Like,
it's badass.
He's being completely transparent. It's toxic,
and
but it's like that's where.
Yeah, I love the transparency about it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that's
like,
what I want to write music like. Just like, here's everything on. Don't ask me about it later, but here's everything on the.
I'm not talking about this.
Yeah.
But no, music like that, I feel like that's like some of my favorite music. It's just shit that you know it's not bullshit. You know what I mean? Like when you listen to it and like. You hear some like music sometimes like you ain't about this or whatever. But
what if he's not?
And that's like,
what if he's just super nice?
I think he's got to get the toxicness out to be super nice because he was super nice.
Oh, yeah, he was nice.
He was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
He actually this guy kind of looks like him.
Why are you talking shit about me?
No, you talking shit.
I'm trying to get you to talk. Don't make me stick Bernie on you, okay? Hit him up, bro. Light him up.
He's just vibing over there.
He's like, can I eat my candy?
Yeah, some of that catnip.
Gonna be too loud.
For real.
No, yeah,
the networking's crazy.
Networking's crazy. I mean, like,
that's how you got the Rome Hero Foxes show, right?
Oh,
that was from Castleberry too.
That was from Castleberry, yeah. Because he was talking about, oh yeah, Rome Hero's gonna get back on tour, and I was like, I fucking love Rome Hero Foxes. What the fuck? That was badass. And then Siege hit us up on via email, and I was like, whoa. It's happening. Badass. That was a cool show too.
That was a cool show. That's like, it's weird, but I've got to see like a few like bands because I think that was one like because when we were talking about just hitting up bands, like whatever, it's like just tell me who. Yeah. He's like, we'll see if it comes up. That was one of mine. I was like, well, they haven't played in fucking years, so like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I go, but they're from like Houston. I go, so if anything happens, we're like pretty close.
It was a solid lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, that show was
badass.
That show was great. I like the concept of like those. Sorry, go for it. You seem real ecstatic about something. Go for it.
There was like 50 people at the show.
That was insane.
That's wild sometimes, though. Yeah.
Where you at?
Other than that, happens a lot, doesn't it?
It's fucking crazy.
We've had that happen where like a shit ton of people like buy tickets.
We'll get like the pre-sale, sure, and I'm like, oh cool, this show's gonna be badass. And like maybe something as significant as like a quarter won't be there. I'm like, where the fuck? It's
And
a beautiful day.
It's not
To
like-
That day
be
was
fair,
cold.
it was-
That day was
it
cold.
was-
That's the
it
only
was a
thing I
cold
can-
day.
it
I would have
was
stood
fucking
home
freezing.
too.
And
I'm
it
not.
was, and it was outside. Okay.
And it was outside.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll give that one to you
Yeah,
because it
that
was
one-
pretty
That
cold.
one adds up because I would have stood home too if I wasn't working it. Like I love Rome Hero Foxes, but it was
But not
like
enough.
30, 40
Apparently, she
degrees.
stayed home.
Shit, I did.
Goddamn.
No.
No, I was freezing. Not gonna lie.
That was
Yeah, that's
freezing.
for-
Who? Shout out to
Saint
is it
Blonde,
is it
man.
Locks from Saint Blonde? What's his
Oh,
name?
Lux, yeah.
Locks, right? From Saint
Yeah.
Blonde. Yeah, he gave me hand warmers.
The little
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he gave us hand warmers.
That
He's
was-
like, here you go.
that
I was
was-
like, thank you.
That was
This
clever.
is
Yeah, that was
good.
smart.
Yeah, that's just cool.
Yeah.
It was a lifesaver, honestly. I was over there just like, all right.
That was cold. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But I feel like we've gotten to do a lot of like cool shows and stuff.
Distinguisher was an insane.
Yeah,
That one
that
was
was
one
cool.
I was so excited when we got the confirmation for
R.I.P.
and seeing.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
why?
For real.
Anyways.
For real, I'm so glad. We were just talking about it the other day where I got to see them twice this year, and I was like, thank God I got to see them just 2 more times before whatever happened. But that one's still amazing to say that we got them for one of our shows too.
Next cool. Alright, distinguished.
Yeah.
Confirming bite of the recess. R.I.P. Distinguisher.
He's got,
This brought to you by.
he's got to sweeten the blow over there thinking about how they broke up, you know?
Yeah, that's okay, but.
Saltwound was another cool one, having them with Hunt the
Hunt the
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Oh, how's that?
That one was crazy.
That one with Dialectic was on that show, and I was like, "Whoa,
The Dialectic
these guys
is
are
really
fucking
fucking
sick.
good, yeah.
They're fucking crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
they were. I didn't know what I was expecting, like from what I listened to, but like live, like I was like, that
Fucking
shit's
crazy.
fucking.
And then
sick.
it's not talking shit, but it's a small venue. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
Three Links is like small
Tiny.
cap.
Honestly,
That
And I was
live
like, whoa,
were
it was
crazy,
packed.
And then we had
I
the
like
shit
this.
around that time frame where it was like the limited capacity because of the fire
You're
marshal.
right. The fire marshal had just
because they were
come
already
by.
deducted, and then the
Yeah.
fire marshal came and deducted even more.
Yeah.
Like, eat shit.
Yeah, they made our
like
cap.
what, 70, 80 people that were allowed in the room at
Yeah.
a time.
But I forget her name. I'm so sorry. But the door lady was just like, "Hey, they leave. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
That's
out. You're
just
out."
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I forgot.
Brittany.
Thank you.
Wow.
Sorry,
You're really good with names.
Like, yeah, she came to a Ballista show back in Arlington. I was like, yo, you
Mm.
remember the
Oh, that's right. This
Oh,
guy
yeah.
plays in Ballista
Yeah.
and Karama and oh no.
Yo, mama.
Damn! Burn!
There's so many.
Just a stamp shows up on the screen, just like burn. You
I was just starting to rhyme.
It'd be sick.
I'm telling you this. You know what? I'm gonna say this constantly because I'm manifesting and visualizing this.
Yeah.
We talked about starting a show.
I
No.
think
We
it
gotta
would
start-
be good.
I think
It would
this
be
is great.
funny.
She doesn't want to do it, but I want to start a show called The
I'm
Burn
trying to make
Notice.
friends, not enemies.
And just have
We'll
Bernie
make
over
a-
here.
Not you.
Just
You
roast
got to-
people. Call it The Burn Notice.
The burn
You
notice.
got to sign a waiver. I will not cry.
I'm saying we could. I could. We just get people to come on. He's like, hey, you know, anything goes. You can't retaliate. You know what I mean? Like, or you can try, but your ass gonna get roasted hard.
I've always said it. If you come for me, you better make sure you take me out.
I'll second that. I'm sure that's why I don't ever come.
It'd be a good show. Let us know. Should,
Let us know.
should we do it?
Should we do The Burn Notice? Yeah, but I mean, speaking of shows, like the Rotted Roots is like something that like
That's
we
been fun.
started this year, and I know that was like something you were like super passionate off the bat, like to
Yeah.
try to get done, which has been pretty neat. And we've had like a few like different types of like music come up, which
Yeah.
I think is tight. What do you think has been your experience with like that?
It's interesting to like host it because I kind of go into it blind, just to some extent. I mean, but genuinely, there are artists that I enjoy and I listen to. So it's nice to kind of ask like certain questions that I may have had, whether it be lyrical content or something as simple as like what kind of gear are you using, because it just like it's something that I really enjoy. It's a big steal from like Audio Tree and stuff like that.
We don't believe that out.
but it is. I mean, like, it is what it is because they do a great thing in a huge scale, and I've seen it for years. And I'm like, why doesn't anyone do something like that locally? Just like at least in DFW. Like, there's a few sessions that are around town that do certain things similar. But
Like the Austin one. There's like an Austin-based one. There's also a Seattle-based one, KEXP.
Yeah. And they're cool. And I'm like, someone just needs to curate that here, and I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, it's nice that we get to work with Lewis and Fostepco and Crooked Tooth.
Shout out to them, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like huge, incredibly huge help. everything from the technical standpoint of like lighting, audio tracking, and just generally being very helpful. Because sometimes I'm like, he's like, oh, I got you. I'm like, fucking thank you. But it's enjoyable, and I have a shitload of people that I need to get back to. Because I kind of like what you're saying with the podcast, I kind of stopped because I was like kind of dealing with work, and I'm like, I'm going to get all this stuff figured out and get myself a head start so I can start booking frequently. And then to start, I want it to be regular. You know what I mean? I want to at least do like one a month. I'd like to do more if I could, but that only gives me like, if I do one a month, that's like 12 for the year. You know what I mean? So it's like, it'd be nice to be a little bit more consistent because there's a shitload of fucking crazy good talent that's like in just DFW.
And it keeps like, I feel like it just keeps piling up because you keep like seeing and more like, and seeing like more and more bands that are like newer, like at emo night. I had never heard Odd Folks.
Odd Folks was badass.
They were fucking amazing.
Cool.
Like,
they were
I'm
badass.
like, and they've been around for a minute, like, you know.
Apparently,
and I was like, I've never listened to it, but like literally just saw a live show, immediately like played their music on the way home, and I'm like, and was listening to today, and I'm like, this is really fucking good. I was like, this is crazy. Like, and again, I'm like, this is someone. I think we both like were like, oh, like you were like, I need to get him on a session. And I'm like, I need to get him on the podcast.
Yeah,
like,
and that's kind of like the idea I like taking it from is especially acts that don't have, and like what I think is enough content. I'm like, why not, like you call it the hub, like why not be that middle ground for those acts? Like, sure, you got your Instagram page, but do you have music out? If you don't have music out, you come on a session, you're gonna get a live feed from everything that you can use at your own disposal. If you want like video work, you have video work. You know what I mean? Like it's nice to provide that for somebody who may or may not have anticipated or was already looking into it before. Like it's a fucking cool concept.
It's nice, and you don't realize how much people like appreciate it, and then like once like if they're on it or whatever, like it's not like. We're not like crazy select. Like it's just hard to get done sometimes.
It's just
which is why like I like the podcast where I'm like, because we have kind of both. Like they get something like a little bit more produced and like their whole like session stuff. But the podcast is something that I can like, oh, you want to come on here? Like let's come on here like quickly. Like I said, we did like take a break because I mean, if you can't tell, we moved, so we're like actually like we're in a different room. It should look better. We're working on it still, but now we actually have like a dedicated like. You know, studio room for like podcasts and other like content that we're trying to like build. Again, it's a lot of stuff that we want to offer bands, even like touring bands that we've done like little like bits and content for, like have like come up to us and been like appreciative about it. Yeah, I'm like, oh, like you know, nobody's doing like this sort of stuff for like us, and it's kind of wild. Yeah,
they have. I mean, like Sarah and the Safe Word when they came last year, they were like, oh yeah, like. Y'all read the writer, like we appreciate y'all made the post accordingly and all that stuff. And there's everything like we were talking about earlier when they're like, hey, thank you for letting me know where to park or what the set times and all this stuff. And it baffles me because they're like, it happens a lot more than you think where we don't know what's going on. Nope. I'm like, why?
I'll bring it up and up. Like, I mean, we've had the experience with our opening for Dayseeker show.
Yeah, oh my god. I'll talk about that. I will talk about that. Because that shit was bullshit. I'm sorry.
Honestly, I've heard.
You were there. Yeah, we're supposed to open up for Dayseeker. We were all excited, blah, blah, blah. It was, for some reason, I mean, it made sense at the time, but it was Liquid Lounge.
Liquid Lounge, which is a smaller stage in the Curtain Club.
A little corner stage, I
don't know why we didn't think of like. I mean, well, this was early Dayseeker. This was what, like
this is like their first Origins album.
Album, yeah. Which
that
again,
heavy Dayseeker still.
Them fuckers have been
fucking badass.
Yeah, everything they've done though. Yeah, I was gonna say they just get better.
I'm so happy that they're getting finally like the fucking recognition that they get because they've been great for like a long time now.
I feel like bands like Dayseeker and The Plot and You just continue to like grow because they show their versatility with each album. Like, and they just get better with it each time, you know. Even if somebody who only likes metal, you know, you can't fully knock the new stuff just because it's still so well done. Yeah. Like, it's just, there's nothing to hate, really. You can't. It's hard.
It's hard, when it's like, you might not like it as much, but you can't say it's shit, you know what I mean? Or, like, not good music, because, like, they're consistently good songwriters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the vocal range that Roy Rodriguez has alone is ridiculous. Yeah. Like, you can't knock it.
Yeah. That is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, like,
live
on record
too.
And live, I'm like, like, I remember that, because we did actually open for them.
Later,
But no, getting back to that story, we fucking show up. The sound guy didn't even know that there was a show or some shit. He was like, oh, I didn't know, there's no show in here. And we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there is.
And yeah. And then we hit up one of our friends who's a promoter, normally was bringing them to town.
Yeah.
Which was Richard Hudson.
Hey.
Yeah, it was Hudson. He was usually bringing them to town. He told us, like, that's kind of weird, like, 'cause it normally come through me. And we're like, oh yeah, but it's going through this.
And then I think I messaged them directly.
You did,
like,
yeah.
And I was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Like, y'all gonna come here or not type shit. And they were like, what?
Yeah.
We're in buttfuck nowhere. Like, they're like somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like in a different state. And I was like, we were lied to. You know what I mean?
And never addressed. Like, oh, like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Because we talked about it with them. And never heard anything about it.
Never literally said anything about it. Yeah.
What the fuck ever. And the thing is, with this particular person, that's not the first time that shit happened either.
No, yeah, he's done a lot of shady stuff.
We were supposed to play another show, and this was like Battle of the Bands type days.
Oh, the Winter
like,
Jamboree.
Winter Jamboree.
We
were supposed to play with like the Faceless, some other stuff,
yeah.
but like it was like Artifacts, Perio, Faceless, and a bunch of other bands. But none of that tour was on there. It ended up just being like a local show
at Trees.
Which is cool.
We got to play Trees,
I'm not mad at it. But I was also like, what the fuck is going on?
But what I realized is that, like with that particular person, because I think I've had like other like experiences with other like promoters. Like I always remember Hudson, because like Hudson threw some dope shit, and I always remember Camp.
Camp was fucking.
Camp was fucking great, and then
was Richard ever y'all's manager?
No.
Oh.
We didn't have management. We almost did some management with Womack for a minute, but then we internally.
But I think like those experiences are kind of what like feed into like what we do now. Is like this shit is not like what we want like to do, like this type of like deceitfulness. Because like there was another one where it's the same person double booked a venue, told us day of that 3 bands had dropped off. And it was only us 3, and we got in there. They were doing like a motorcycle raffle or some shit. You remember that?
It was fucking awkward.
We were like, what? We walked in and we're like, what are they doing? They're like raffling off shit.
It was like a gun show or something.
Something weird. He had double booked the venue for that day.
Yeah.
Literally that shit, and then like do the show in the evening.
Yeah, and they're like, we're almost doing it's fine. We're like, what the fuck is going on?
And then I got hit. My car, like they hit me.
I didn't remember that.
Some dude backed into me.
He mad as fuck.
Yeah, he backed into me. I was like, bro, what the fuck? He's like trying to fight us because I think Richard was talking shit.
Yeah.
Or I can't remember. One of us was. It might have been. I don't know who was in the car, but he was trying to fight us, and his friend ended up giving us like $300 or something like that. And I was like, whatever.
Damn, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. That was literally right before, and I'm like, what the fuck, this day, man? Like, what the shit? But yeah, he like that particular person did a lot of like shady stuff like with us, and I realized like it made me like always just require like the minimum effort for like shows and stuff like that, like. Expecting like whatever the payment thing was. I don't think I ever asked. Like it was always like, oh, I need to sell these tickets to play this show. Like it was always that thought to me. It wasn't ever like anything extra. It was always like, oh, I need to sell these only so that I can actually get on stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was never really communicated. At least when we were younger, maybe we weren't asking the right questions, but like it was never really communicated. Like, oh, you make money after X amount of tickets or whatever. If that was the case, because I remember we did like the album release and we made like $300-$400. I was like, what is the fucking most money we've ever made? You know, like this is fucking crazy. Wait, and now I'm like, oh, that's not too hard to make.
Yeah.
Via didn't get paid.
Wait, that day?
Oh shit.
Via played?
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all don't. You don't.
Okay. You sure?
No. Okay.
He's like, I don't talk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's like,
Nah, we didn't run that show, just so you know.
Yeah, that was the show. Like, this is
You
you show.
said 3-4. Run it back.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they paid us. And, we ain't in charge of the money, homie. You know what I mean? We just played. Hey, but the exposure from that show, I'm pretty sure helped.
Where's my band now?
Oh my god. Oh
you
my
got
god.
5 of them. What do
Honestly,
you mean? Fucking
It's only 2. He knocked them down. I used to snap and half of those went away.
None of my problems started until I joined Under Blue.
Hey, we were another one on the list, boy. Like you had already knocked out a few.
Yeah.
Like, let me run through this hole too.
How he keeps the mustache longs. Every band he snaps out of his
just
disco.
getting thicker.
Adds another inch.
God damn.
No, he's gone a year without an incident, so he's doing good.
He said, hold on.
Yeah.
Was Broke Alley?
Brook Alley was the last one you knocked out, bro.
Wasn't that 2021? Or no, last year was 2022.
That was
2021. It was the end of 2020, wasn't it? Or was it last year?
my years are a blur. I don't know.
Time.
I feel like the most recent was the Quiet Quitters we were just talking about. Like, where we
Well,
didn't-
that one's still around technically.
technically, yeah, but I think that was gonna be the last one that was gonna break up when he thought it
Maybe
was.
that one's like the carry on. Like it's the back burner one that's like.
It might come back. It might come back. It might come back.
We believe that was a sick band.
Let's see again. Eddie, what are like some cool locals that you either like found this year or you kind of just like restated that you like love them?
Black Hole Bears is
Black Hole
fucking badass.
Who's your Black Hole Bears?
I don't know how to describe their sound, but you should listen to them when you get
Black
the chance.
Hole Bears.
Yes, they're fucking cool.
Locals, right? I want to say Post Profit, but they're not really local. Post Profit was fantastic.
They
Those guys are amazing.
are like just for what they do, like fucking perfect at what they do.
Fucking Matthew Jackson is just the fucking sickest vocalist. Like,
Which
that's
he's been in so many good projects. Anything you see that guy in, you're like, oh, it's gonna be badass.
I told
It's
him,
gonna kill it.
I told him at Chill Sounds Live, but I'm gonna need you to send me that Windwalker shit, boy, because that's off of everything.
Mhm.
That's the first like I ever heard of, and that shit, I remember that story was at Tomcats, and I literally heard him start singing, and like I ran because I think we played, so I ran from the merch table like all the way with him, like what the fuck is going on here?
I think I might have it. The Windwalker.
Yeah. Oh, I need that.
I think I have it.
What about you, son?
What was the question?
Like in school and shit.
Can you repeat the question?
You're the kid who sat in the back, just
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
Like
Had my
23.
earplugs in and
Oh,
everything.
Honey Rot Cheerio. Well, Honey Rot, yeah.
Honey
Is it- what
Rod.
is it?
Honey Rot was
I said
sick.
Honey Rot Cheerio.
Honey Rod Cheerios. Oh, the Instagram name?
Yeah.
That's a badass Instagram name. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Honey Rod Cheerios. Honey Rod is pretty cool.
Is it-
Locals. Yeah, locals that you've seen. Like, we've seen
That we
through the
put
year.
on. Honestly,
Not that they put on, but just like that you've kind of discovered them like, this year. Might have been people we put on.
that's a hard one. There's been so many this year too.
There's a
A
lot
bunch.
of-
It's
I,
every time somebody asks you to pick one thing, it's like your brain just deletes the file. You know, we've had like
Just pick a bunch.
us, yeah. There's been so many freaking artists like that we brought. I mean, I think one of my favorites that we got to see live was when we had Xavier Wolf play his first, or not Xavier Wolf, Xavier
Xavier
second.
second.
Again, as soon as you put me on the spot, the file, like it's gone. No, but Xavier the second, their show was just like the energy, the performance, the band.
They're all
Luke
they're-
Taco too. Can we shout them
Oh,
out?
yeah.
When they-
Shit,
Luke
Yeah.
Taco being as young as they are, and like when we had a 2-week notice for them to hop on a show, and they put a band together and had all
Yeah,
of that.
Yeah, they
shit.
put a band
That was
together in like a week.
insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
like and they were so good live, and like the stage performance, the presence, like the theatrics that they bring.
the fucking blood.
Yeah, like-
yeah.
And they like
Insane.
the crazy thing is I've seen them do it more than once, and more like it sells every
Every
time.
time,
Like
yeah.
it's not like a cheap trick.
But
Like
they get
they really
better
put
at
it
it,
into it.
yeah.
Like they develop like their stage like performance and everything. And what are like the craziest vocalists at such a like young age.
Super,
the
yeah.
range on them and just power
Yeah.
is insane. I remember when I first saw them, I just like. I think I was just like standing. I'm like, what the fuck
Who
is
were they?
happening?
Was
Like,
it Lolo Wing and the Far East Idiots? Was that who they were with?
So
that
we-
was the second one
the
I think we had.
first time we booked Luke was the Sarah and the Safe Word
That's
show.
what it was.
Yes.
Because Dizzy from Arrow was like, bro, I got someone you got to check out. And I was like, I always take it with a grain of salt when someone tells me that. I'm like, all right, let's see what's up. And then
Ridiculous.
Dizzy booked them for a show at Killers. And Luke's just playing the piano, but like fucking going in. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this kid's fucking badass.
Yeah.
And so after like the Sarah and Safe Word show, I was like, when we got the Will Wood show, I was like, let's put them on the Will Wood show. Sold out fucking show, and it's like not even skip a beat in how they perform. Like whether it was like a crowd of like 2 to a crowd of 250,
Yeah.
like they're in it to
Yeah.
win it. And I was like, that's fucking badass.
Because
That
that's what
Will
we
Wood show
saw.
was
You know what I mean?
crazy,
The one
too.
that because we it was like the first show we had to run on our own, like me and Bernie, the Lulu Wing,
Lolo Wing and
Lulu Wing, which
Little Ween?
yeah. So they played that, and they were coming. They were getting dropped off from like work. They were at work,
Heard.
And they were like, we're a little late, but literally like they like the car doesn't even like park. It like stops at the stop sign. Luke runs out and just runs on stage and is like, oh, it pretty much like gets going. And I'm like, what the hell? And the crowd was like smaller, but literally like it immediately got the crowd like going like crazy. And I'm like,
I think the
so
smaller
cool
they thrived too, just because it was more of an intimate. It didn't matter if you put them in front of like a sold out room or a smaller crowd. I felt like even with a smaller, more intimate crowd, they were able to feed off that energy, which isn't, I feel like, something you always get to see with bands. Like sometimes you can tell when someone's like, this isn't the crowd, like this isn't a big crowd or something.
Yeah, like,
sometimes you can feel that like vibe on stage. You can see it, and like I think with Luke, they do a really good job. As it doesn't matter what size of a crowd they have, they're gonna give their best performance, and it's like I definitely was blown away seeing them this year for sure.
I missed out on that show. It was like one of the only shows I had to be at work, so I didn't really know.
Honestly, that show was badass. We had that. We had
it was the Deep End.
The Deep End. Bad Astronauts made that. Bad Astronauts.
Man,
pour one out.
Fucking badass band.
I don't want to pour it out. We're inside. But Lulu and like was nuts. Like they were great. Dude. And they were great.
I love the name too.
I was thinking of something. I was like, wait, can I? No.
Just the name of them too is fun to say. Lulu Wing and the Far East Idiots.
We're like they were actually the dudes in Bad Astronauts. Actually, Bert was it? Bert?
Yeah, Bert actually connected Lulu Wingen back to us again because they're gonna come back in March.
Yes, I recommend everyone go to that because it's an experience to see that band.
I don't know how to describe it.
They call it avant punk, so avant-garde punk from Japan. So. It's fucking badass.
Like song structuring is totally different than what I've ever heard like anybody made. It's three people, and like I don't know, like they just are all like the bass player is stoic the entire time. The dude just doesn't move from here. It just stays here, and then the drummer kind of got his thing, but the guitar player's got his own little moves where he's like walking up in front and like. The vocal goes with like the rhythm change. It's so interesting, but it's so great. Like you need to see it at least once.
It's an experience.
Like, definitely, I recommend at least seeing it. It's something great, which is weird because me and you have seen another Japanese band at Lola's.
Silhouette of Nude.
And the same thing we saw. That whole thing was. I remember that dude had like a little like toy gun. Yeah. You know, I was like, what is happening?
R.I.P. Doggo, but one of the last Doggo performances. That was a good show. Yeah.
Man, fucking Doggo. I mean, but what Paula plays in
Blind Lace
now.
That's what I was thinking about when we were talking about Rotted Roots earlier. I was like, man, Blind Lace is a good one for Rotted Roots because I would love to see Paul's brain get picked a little bit.
To get the Kurama guys on the session. I got a backlist of so many fucking.
We have like a lot of We need to get. Can we do Billis Kurama one day?
Well, I mean that's all badass. What if we did it at the Post?
There's stuff we'll talk about that I don't want to talk about.
We can talk about the Post though. The Post has been like one of like our like basically headquarter like thing throughout this year, which has been a great help with like everything we've got to do because you got to think of like the crazy like people that like crazy shows that we've got to put on there.
Yeah, to actually have a trusted venue that will let us like actually work with them. I mean, maybe there's a little bias because I work there, so it helps out. I mean,
sure,
but like but that's transparent. You know what I mean? Like we don't really like work with outside promoters too much. We do a couple of shows, but when I approached Brooks about it, I was like, hey man, like I really want to do shows here. I think it'd be really cool. And he was like, cool. Like literally, I was like, all right. I was like, okay, well, what do I do? He's like, just show me dates and we'll talk about it. And since then, like he's helped me kind of like stay on a strong path. Like even with like. I brought up some stuff to his attention, like, hey, what do you think of this? He's like, they're gonna screw you. He was like, do this. And I was like, oh. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it helped me learn a lot more, and now I feel like just super confident doing this booking. But being able to work with the Post it's like, it's a perfect sweet spot, man. It's fucking cool. It's an awesome venue in Fort Worth. It's not a crazy huge capacity, but it's also not like super cramped and small. Like the fact that you can have food and drinks, like, I'm not gonna like sell it here, but it's fucking cool.
It's nice looking. You know what I mean?
It's nice.
It's nice looking.
It's
the bathrooms are nice. All right.
Man, if you get a show on a Sunday, y'all do your string specials too.
Yeah.
Real talk, y'all can take a shit at the post, and that's a compliment, okay? Because you can't be taking shits at all like
Yeah,
these
you
venues.
might hear
I'm
guttural
saying.
screams in the bathroom.
Bro,
What show is that?
it's so funny like seeing like the people who don't know we do metal shows there and
Yeah.
stuff. And to have like a hardcore show going on, people are just outside eating in the patio with their kids and dogs, having a great time. I'm like, what's going on over there? And every time that door opens, she's like, I'm like, oh,
Let's go and walk back out.
Sometimes though, you'll see
Sometimes-
like the little grandma and grandpa go in.
Yeah,
and
they'll be
this
like,
is cool. Nice.
It's a fucking
I've had
trip.
a few people like walk in and I'm like, oh yeah, who are you here to sing? It's like the show. I was like, I don't know, we were next door eating or something like that. Like, but I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we put like fucking heavy. We just like put heavy Lolo at the fucking post. You know what I mean? Like
With Duck Duck Goose.
with Duck
Super
Duck.
random. Yeah. Who would have fucking thought?
Fucking great. This year, you know what? Before bands, I just want to shout out Backacre because Backacre's one of my fucking favorite bands now, and that's someone I found this year. And then
Funny thing about them, I found out about them first time was the Red Goose Saloon show that you did.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
the
They
Arrow
played
show
that?
with
Yeah.
I put Backacre. It was like Trauma Ray, Tony Love.
Was that
that's the one we went to.
not Duck Duck?
The
Jump Punk
Ends.
Goose or
Jump Punk
whatever.
Goose.
Yeah.
Kyle had a random band come out of nowhere because his original band.
And dude with the
Ladybug.
karate yellow suit.
Yeah, that shit was badass. The kick drum that's like 30. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
I knew it was nuts, man. That shit
Yeah.
was badass. That was one of my.
I forgot what they
like,
called
That was a good
themselves.
show.
I remember that. Yeah,
That was a good
Jump-
time.
I
That was
remember.
insane.
Yeah.
Then it was in this little crowded, like weird room. It was a cool
Yeah.
room, you know.
Yeah.
Like you go
I-
upstairs, you don't know what's
Yeah,
there.
Red Goose
Yeah.
Saloon.
Fuck them stairs though. Oh my god.
Fuck every stairs, but it's
Fuck
not as
any-
bad as the worst stairs have always been Sons of Herman Hall.
Sons of
man.
Herman Hall.
Yeah,
Fuck.
always.
Cool
Fuck those
spot,
things.
but fuck your stairs, bro.
I like that you hear the sigh commentary.
But no, that show was one of the ones that showed me like mixed bills being like badass,
Yeah.
like badass as fuck. Like, cause I love that show. Like every like band was like different. I think Animal Jam played that one too, like early on.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah,
The Ends played that. At
The Ends.
We're talking
Did
about the Red Goose Saloon one, right?
Yeah.
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 The
Yeah.
Ends played.
We showed up kind of late. It was me and Bernie.
It is what it is.
But
It is what it is.
it
I think we had trouble. It was trouble parking, right? 'Cause I remember we were in like the parking garage.
Yeah, shows downtown not ideal.
Not it's cool looking, but and that's another thing. There's good parking at the post.
So much parking.
so much parking.
Fuck yeah,
It
dude.
was kind of like all these like little things that
There's-
like when you show up to venues and like, oh, I have to fucking pay to park, or there's nowhere to park, or like Deep Ellum show. Well, there's not really that many Deep Ellum shows anymore, but trying to find a parking lot like on the weekend like that's
Bro.
fucking open like is nuts.
Yeah.
Or a
Like,
fucking meter or something.
Yeah,
it's
Man,
Yeah,
I
like-
think the only thing for the post that we should warn people is when you park in the street, you reverse park.
Reverse park in the street. They will tow your shit.
Reverse
Yeah.
park.
They really will.
Just the only downside. All the pluses, I mean, that's just a disclaimer you have to know, and at that point, you forget it.
And that's not the post, that's the street, okay?
Yeah,
That's the street. Yeah, that's not the
that's
post.
even
Race
the
Street.
post.
That is Ray Street.
Yeah.
Ray Street
Yeah.
will.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's
Don't
Ray Street for a
fuck
reason.
this up
Yeah.
for us,
Yeah.
Bernie. I'm like, don't fuck this up for us.
No, I mean, if that's just a minor thing, that way, I mean, if we want to make our shows as easygoing as possible for everybody, that is a fun
Yeah,
fact
reverse,
to know.
reverse, reverse,
Put it
into
reverse,
the party.
Yeah.
Reverse.
But generally speaking, like the post
It's awesome.
is fucking cool.
Those look
It's a
great.
listening room. It's a concert hall. It's a restaurant. It's a bar.
Man,
like
the
Jade
stack is
Alex's video
fucking
she did.
Yeah, Jada.
Like the circus theme video
the
they did.
Victoria
Oh,
XL
yeah,
video.
Victoria
Like,
XL.
got
At the
done at
post,
the
it was
post, you know what I mean?
Crazy scene.
All
it
because
turned
literally
into
because
it,
we're
yeah.
making all these like connections, so like even opening the post to stuff like that, you know what I mean? I thought like it's
The main thing, the owner was like, "So you want to do fire in the music hall?" And I was like, "Yes, hear me out." But we had to get some legal documents signed and all that
Yeah.
other stuff. That's just apparently normal. So I was like, "All right, cool." But
I'm
to see it
assuming
happening,
was.
I was like, "Oh, this is badass."
Mhm.
And they catered. Yeah, Jay did a fucking badass job doing all that.
Shout out Jade.
Yeah.
That music video was cool. I remember us watching it. I was like, "This is the post." Like the post looks really
Yeah, they
cool, but it
redid
was
it.
cool
Yeah.
seeing it come to life as a circus theme. Like
Yeah, that was really tight.
such
That
a
we
good
gotta
home
get
base.
Yeah, it's a really nice like home. Like I met tons of people like there, just with shows. But I feel like it's a nice place to provide for people like in shows. Like
Yeah.
given like venues just going away, man. Like I was just like mentioning Deep Ellum, like has got like
The door.
the door's a fucking velvet taco.
Velvet taco.
That's
The
disrespectful.
tater tots though.
The tater tots are the only thing.
It's a
That's all I want.
taco now.
It's gonna be or it is.
It's gotta be, yeah.
It's a parking lot right now.
Ah.
That
Yeah.
you pay $20 to fucking park.
Eat
That's
shit.
that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
me more mad. I'm mad about the door, but it's been 3 years. I've had time to mourn. The $25 parking is bullshit.
That's,
Bro.
parking. Yeah.
I mean, when they started implementing all that stuff in Fort Worth in general, where you have to pay for parking, I'm like, what the fuck? That was the best part about it. It was,
Was that recent? 'Cause I
yeah, it's
do
like within the
remember-
last couple of years, like
That's
last,
fucking dumb.
yeah,
Mhm.
right before Lola's. Speaking of another,
Well,
Lola's relocated.
Lola's
Yeah.
relocated.
Yeah, they relocated. I
Magnolia
haven't been to the new
relocated.
one. Magnolia Motor Lounge relocated. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are playing a show there.
Yeah.
Show 'em
On
the- show 'em the thing.
Thursday.
Riker Hall on the 7-inch difference.
I forget that.
I'm still gonna make a name at that.
But
Yeah, there's a lot of
Too
places
many-
that
too
are just,
many
like,
venues gone.
closed. I'm glad like the rail club is back up and running.
yeah,
which is
they got
cool.
new management.
It
It
got
was
some
fun
good
having
people.
a show there too. Like
Yeah, yeah.
That show was that show was
Mhm.
cool.
Well, fucking Dreamwake and all that. Yeah, fucking
Bro, shout out Rewound, bro. Most consistent fucking live show I've ever seen in my life. dude.
Rewound is the truth. They are fucking
Bro,
badass.
Rewound
Yeah.
fucking fucks.
Fuck.
For real, like they're one show like set that I've seen over and over, and I'm like each time these fuckers bring it like none other. And it's
when
crazy.
they played with Guerrilla Warfare, and even seeing Guerrilla Warfare play was ridiculous too. Like that
Yeah.
whole night was just a good
That's a good
energy
show,
and
too.
vibe.
That
I
was a good show.
I didn't even realize vocalists for Guerrilla Warfare also
Sort of.
played the drums.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember just seeing that and I was like, I know he's winded.
Yeah, that back to back. I saw him the next night play in Houston. I was like, yo, that's bad.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Yeah.
Did you go to No Sleep?
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Oh,
I
bitch,
was-
bitch had no sleep.
Yeah,
buddy.
I slept during no sleep.
This dude-
What?
I fucking-
It's literally called No Sleep.
I
Broke
was
the
not
one rule.
I was not sleeping leading up to it. I was working and I was fucking having a good time. I was
Was that-
drinking.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh my god.
The water. Yeah. No, there's been a lot of cool shit, cool venues we've discovered, and like I don't know, so much stuff like to do. Like I had to like sit down and like I talked to you because like I keep like bringing DJ ideas, and DJ's like, do one, like like pick one and do it, and I'm like, okay, I need to just stop being an idea mill. Like I need to like sit down and like there's a bunch of stuff that like I know I'm excited for to do this year. Like everything, like I want this, like the podcast will be consistent, and then like on top of that, like there's other like programming stuff that I have like that I want to
The
do.
burn notice.
The burn notice is coming.
The burn notice.
2023 possibly. You know what I mean? Mustache rides we're gonna be offering over here. 2023. And there's a few other like cool things that we want to like try doing, but I know there's a ton of freaking ideas that we like have that we want to go through. But
When's this coming out?
next week.
So
Not,
can
not
we
this
talk-
upcoming week.
So then can we talk about NN?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's already.
Alright.
Oh, it's not really.
We haven't
announced, right?
talked about
We
it.
can announce it on
We
this
can
then.
talk about it. All right, cool.
Okay, so I'll let you explain it. But first of all, we do have like our 1-year anniversary show coming up at the end of the month, the 30th of January, and we have
Have near.
Blurry.
Oh, I thought we were going down. I know we're gonna go back.
I'll go back and forth.
Okay. We have the ends.
I forgot already.
Blind Lace.
Blind
Okay,
lace.
Blind Lace.
And then sorry, no refunds.
Yeah,
Which is true.
but it'll be cool. That's true. Sorry, no refunds. All right.
They're badass. Came
Sorry,
across.
refunds?
They emailed us, and I was like, "I'm gonna check this, what's going on." I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh shit, this album's sick." Yeah, they're
But-
really cool.
But yeah, we're celebrating like being NoiseROT for a year now, which is also really cool.
Yeah.
But that's gonna kind of kick off like an idea that we've been trying to get done. But it's gonna be
Guess we're calling it Noise Night.
because it's at night and there will be noise.
And there will be noise. Yeah. No, I know we do like a lot of like regional tours, and I've been wanting to focus a lot more on like the local shows because that's what this is geared towards.
Mm.
And so I figured, well, I talked with the Post. They gave us every last Monday. So for the rest of this year, I do plan on doing at least one locally focused show, And for even more transparency, which I don't know where the limit is on this, but like it's aimed at, taking care of the bands, so if you play that show, like there's a huge way for you to make some money. You're gonna have good time slots, you're gonna have you're gonna get fed, you're gonna get drinks, like you're gonna, from a consumer standpoint, you get to come to the post and see a fucking cool show at little to no cost. Like it's the concept's there. There's gonna be art vendors, there's gonna be at least a business or two if I can work something out. I've talked to a small sponsorship potential opportunity that might come into fruition that I won't bring up just yet. But just to have an actual showcase, locally focused showcase, like I'm excited to do that a lot.
Yeah, like that's one of the things that we've been like kind of figuring out how to do like throughout the years. One of those learning things is like, oh, how do we like do this, and having it like be consistently every month, because it's something that I've noticed that I like building as far as like our shows and stuff is like that sense of community, and like this is like something that could easily like bring that to fruition. And if you like only know one of these bands or something, or don't know anybody, just want to come see music, like these are like the nights that are really good for it, because it's like that's all it is. It's people coming together to hang out and like listen to music there. You can easily talk to whoever's like there about like music. That's what I found is like at all these shows, it's kind of not that hard to just start a conversation with like most of these people and like listen, because you're all here to do the same thing. It's just like listen to music, and it's a nice community that like I like grew up in, and really like felt like I met like some really cool people in it when I was playing in music, and even when I wasn't, I was just going to shows. I'm like I met a lot of friends that I still have which is awesome. You know what I mean? But yeah, I guess just randomly, just more people like I want to shout out before like wrapping this up, because we're a little over an hour now.
That's fine.
No, like Blaze Culture, Jake. I want to shout out Jake because he's been like the sweetest and done some cool shit with us. Cool. Like and
they did like relocate.
Stress free too, man. He just shows up and we're like, "Do you need anything?" He's like, "Nah, man, I got it." He really does.
Yeah, I definitely want to shout out Blaze. Who else? I already shouted out the post. Fostepco,
bro.
Yeah,
Lewis and Crooked Tooth. Like everything they've done for us has been amazing.
Yeah. I saw him play a festival and man the sound the entire time. I don't know how he did it. I might have jumped in for a little bit.
I know the dude that's chill as hell.
You know what? Yeah, you did. Oh, you did go do sound for a second.
Yeah,
I forgot about
that. Do the like snare pops.
Chaz too. We haven't mentioned the Haltom Theater.
Haltom Theater.
Chaz. Every time we come, what do you need?
Chaz
here to help you out.
Yeah.
Bro.
I don't know. Chaz is super nice.
Shout out to Chaz, man. I can't believe we haven't mentioned him sooner.
People are like, oh, it's in Haltom City. I'm like, bro, it's a sick ass venue. Like, it's got good people behind it.
Shit ton of parking.
Shit ton of parking. Free parking.
Yeah, at that.
God damn.
Taco Bell's across the street.
The staff's cool as fuck.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. No, it's a fucking badass venue.
It's a family-owned venue.
Family-owned?
Yeah.
A family-owned, family-run. Like, that's badass. What do you want?
We won't.
What more do you want?
And I guess, man, I don't. My brain's jumbled right now because I want to talk about so many things. Because I keep going like, I want to shout out Bleak because Bleak's fucking badass.
Yeah.
Just out of looking at like Bleak.
Dewey's been fucking the sweetest, and then like he's even been again someone with talking about like networking. Like he's helped us get a few other shows in the pocket as well. And I'm like, bro, like. Your band's sick and you're sweet. Like I love you.
Bands are sick because he's got
No Cure.
No Cure.
Bro, man. So good. I watched them play at Division Brewery, and I was just watching them. I was like, you're fucking badass, man. What the fuck?
Shout out Graham from the God Awful Truth /Backacre.
Yeah,
I remember when he left. Remember when they left our show at Cheapsteaks, and then he had to go straight to the other show and didn't that night and played for the God Awful Truth. What a trooper! Yeah.
He played 2 NoiseROT shows.
Yeah, shout out to him.
He played it back again. Like that show was sick too.
Yeah, that was sick.
And he killed it that night. He fucking did great. God,
they killed it at Cheapsteaks too, so it's like, man.
The God Awful Truth too is like fucking. They're so fucking sick.
Every time we've had them this year. Where was our show in Pantego or Arlington? What was that? Dr. Jekyll's?
Dr. Jekyll's.
Yeah. Dr. Jekyll's. Seeing God Awful Truth and Dr. Jekyll's was insane.
That shit was insane.
Yeah,
R.I.P. The Shop too. That one's another one where we have not.
Yeah, we never got to. do the shop. It's alright.
That was another one. Well, I just
You've done
remember
some shows.
beforehand.
I
I just
I
remember.
brought like Frostcoff in there and
Yeah.
did some
yeah.
other stuff. Yeah.
That's when I started first helping you with shows and stuff like that. Was
Yeah.
at the shop. So that's why I said like
yeah.
R.I.P. the shop. like,
The shop.
Wow.
Damn.
R.I.P.
Man, it's been a year. It's
Yeah.
been a year of stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. I was like, it's a lot to talk about.
It is, yeah.
I think it
'Cause
doesn't
I was
help that
thinking-
we're all been
Yeah.
friends for years too. So
Yeah.
some of this isn't even NoiseROT related. Some of this is just us
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Like the Red Goose Saloon shit.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm telling you. This is all just like that's how the podcast works. You don't have to talk about it. You can talk about whatever. But
So I have
that's
this weird rash.
show it to the camera. Flip around.
It's all the chocolate.
It's all the chocolate.
No, it's not chocolate.
But that is kind
so stupid.
Oh my
Fucking
god.
dumb.
Is this the point where I go into the wall twerk now?
Wall twerk. Wall twerk.
Wall twerk that rash out.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this earlier.
Mm.
We were talking about this post, but the fucking guys who, I forgot what hardcore show it was, but they busted a big ass hole in the wall. We had to get it fixed. Cause I was like,
yeah.
I don't want to lose this relationship.
Another Lewis thing.
Yeah. Lewis fucking patched that hoe up.
He's like, I got you.
Was that the show we had to throw that dude out?
I don't
Oh,
Was that the same
no.
one?
Yeah.
It was
Nah.
not.
It
No,
was
it
some
was,
other.
it was an earlier one, I think.
I think it was the one with Shock.
Shackled?
It was the
Oh,
Shackled
the
show.
Shackled.
Because that was
Yeah,
one of the
shout out
first,
Ty.
That was one of the
Yeah.
first like hardcore shows at the Post. I
Mhm.
think.
And then we just announced
That was
another
hot.
Fort Worth hardcore show.
Another collab with them, yeah.
With
yeah.
Memento. Yeah, since my beloved. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be
That'd be
good.
sick.
The hardcore community has been fucking awesome for me to participate in.
Fucking
I
fun.
don't think I was around too much around like the hardcore scene. And like being able like to throw on shows, like I've gone to like just some separate, and everyone's like so fucking nice. Everyone wows the
Super
fuck out.
nice.
The
And, like, it's
energy,
really, like,
you feel
violent
the
and
ground
crazy.
vibrate. You
But
know?
like everyone's like super sweet that I've met like through them. I'm like that's fucking like it's
Yeah.
cool. Like I love how like everybody like turns up for each other.
Like
and
when
shit
they talk
that.
about like community, I'm like, oh, like that. They're very much.
And that's like
fucking
it's one
badass.
thing that I've like seen with them. Like I want to do that like with every fucking thing. Like because that's really cool. Like that everybody shows up for like each other. I'm like that's really nice.
Like, yeah, this guy just broke a light bulb moshing, but you know what? He picked this other guy who fell up. So it cancels.
That happened at fucking
Dr. Jekyll's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did break the light bulb.
Dude,
yeah.
always reminds me of like an old school like Street Fighter, like when he moshes and he just I
Oh, I
remember
know.
seeing him go pa, and I was like, oh, so we're it's too late now.
I was like, fuck, because that was early.
that was what Ghost House was
I
set when
think
that
so.
happened.
I was like, damn.
R.I.P.
Damn.
That
was
light
a
bulb.
funny show.
Yeah, that was a good show. That was a lot of energy in that small little venue, and it was sick.
Yeah, I felt really bad for everybody there.
I'm a fan of like small venues though. Like
Yeah.
small venues and packing them bitches out, like feels like really cool.
Yeah.
Makes everyone extra angsty. And
Like we did a show at Andy's. Shout out Charlie. Like getting to work with them. Like shit's badass.
Yeah.
Then we'll do some stuff at Tulip soon. See what's going on there.
Tulips is nice.
That's another fucking badass
If we
venue.
put any, would they do like? Are you wanting to do light or heavy at Tulips? Because I just
All
picturing
the
heavy.
above.
No, well, I say picturing heavy at Tulips reminds me of that like nematode scene from SpongeBob where they all start brawling in the Krusty Krab. He's not very large. That's just what I'm picturing right now. So that's why I asked.
Telling you,
It's
man,
gonna
we've
look
done
hilarious.
heavy low at the post. We can do
anything.
anything.
We can
We can do
Just know I'm gonna be fucking laughing.
I saw Gel and Ceremony at Tulip.
Yeah.
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 That was fucking gnarly.
My
They've
favorite-
had like Ozone play there,
Ooh,
and it gets
Ozone
like
play.
fucking
Oh, shit.
like
Yeah,
whack
you're
the
right.
fuck out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mixing and Cokes. No, I don't think Mix. Ern's playing there. Ern's
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Another band I want to work with eventually,
Yeah.
man. They're fucking cool.
Man.
They got a sick sound. They got a
That's
sick
fucking cool.
sound.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something else and I forgot.
Dang.
Say some wise shit right now.
Wise shit. I was talking to my brother earlier,
Mhm.
and he was telling me like how he started a band.
Shout out,
And I
Micah.
was like, shout out Micah.
Good for
And
him.
I was telling him because he was worried about like record label stuff and blah blah blah. I'm like, bro, like worry about being a musician. I was like, then worry about being a team member, and worry about being a band. Become a business, and then become unstoppable. And so lately, I've been thinking all day is like, learn to become unstoppable. I think that's what people need to learn.
Wow. I don't want to ruin it. But those are some wise words to end the podcast on. But we're going to end it with a wall twerk. Take it away, Edward. Take it away,
Listen, if
Edward.
you-
I had one more. I thought DJ standard for damn genius because that was.
Damn, a damn genius.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mic drop.
Get on that wall. Oh
Get on
my
that
God.
wall.
That's your phone.
No,
When all else fails, throw ass.
When all else fails. That's wise words.
That's why he just walked. He really did walk off. The door just opened. I hear his car starting.
Should we show your video next?
No, is he on there, Bert? Hell yeah, that was motherfucking episode 48. 48? 48, Bert. And NoiseROT, we got a lot of stuff that we're working on. We're like booked almost half the year. And
I'm sorry.
and, no, we got a lot of cool shit. We're gonna definitely stay busy. We got some time off for a little bit. Yeah.
I was sick.
Fighting for our lives.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we got a lot of shit. I'm excited. I'm glad that we started this together. And it's cool that we're all just friends and started like something cool together and been working at it. We learned a lot throughout the year, and we're gonna use that to do better shit. And I'm glad that we're doing this, man. We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
You didn't say it back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's great. Cool. Thank you. All right, but
I love Keegan.
I'm just always.
love
This
Keegan.
is why, like me with burn notice and stuff, I'm always like, man, I don't feel like I'm reserved, but just enough. Reserved just enough.
and then last thing, shout out Keegan in this face. That's for you. All right, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This has been Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We're gonna bring you episodes every week. I swear, I already committed. Bam.
Damn, he said it.
I said
He
it.
said
I
it.
said it. I said it. And thank you guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Time it says better lose your man. We should run away, love me instead.
Chill Sounds and Breakdowns.